Where is it all coming from? Do we keep DT for Basic Island? Like Mox? Fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm not even gonna ask Chad. I'm doing it. Sold their setup? Dude, he must have like sold his kidneys. Like, kids are really expensive. Especially when you have them in multiples. It almost gets more expensive based on more children you have. Like, well, not, I don't want to say exponentially. But, like, let's say you have one kid. We're going to make up a number. Let's say it's $20 a year. Obviously not that. And let's say, you know, 2 kids. It wouldn't be $40 a year. It'd probably be, like, $45 or $50 a year. Just, like, the more kids you have. Oh, yeah. Okay. You know, let's stop talking about kids. I need to, like, because if I keep talking about this, I'm going to, like, lose time. You guys talk about the kids. I'll focus on the playing. I'm sure some of you have kids, so, like, you can offer your input in. You know. Get Academy. I want to get something that's not wastable. Because, like, if I just untap, my opponent goes Wasteland, I'm like, we're just, like, in a really bad spot. I'm going to get rid of this because I think we can do better. That's really good. Sell out of Maverick soon. Oh, shell out. I was going to say, like, weren't you talking about playing Maverick? See, I need at least one underground sea in my life. Hey, to be fair, you always have access to it, though. Send me one, fam. It's got to be rough to be a legacy player trying to get an underground sea now, though. I definitely feel for you, man. Because they're, like, stupid expensive. Basic Swamp into Black Lotus making black is super weird. Okay. So we're playing against Randy Bueller, as it turns out. Necropotence. Well, it's a joke, because Randy Bueller's known for Necropotence, if you don't know that. I'm sure you do if you're watching Vintage. You know about all the Vintage things. So I'm guessing this is, like, 2-card Monty, but mono black. Or they're just trying to fool me and it's like a storm deck and they just like made black mana. I'm not F6ing just because you don't draw cards with Necropotence. My opponent still has 5 cards in their hand. They can still be like, Dark Rit, and do some stuff. Like I could pretend that I have interaction, although I obviously would have forced the Necro. Maybe it's mental misstep, right? Because they didn't Dark Ritual into Necro. They Black Lotus into Necro. Yeah, Necro's actually not the most common Vintage card, you'll see. Like, people don't even really play Bargain, so as you can imagine, not a lot of people play Necro. Noble isn't a Birds of Paradise plus Grim Lavamancer. It's true, but Noble Hark's really good, though. Like, for Mana Dorks, I definitely say it's the second best one. Deathrite Shaman being number 1, of course. How much are they paying with their Necro? Or are they deciding what to... Oh, no, they're still in their main, as you can see right now, so... They might be deciding to Necro more. Yeah, Necro's definitely not as good as it used to be. Especially with Bargain being unrestricted. Just Show and Tell Bargain is a lot more functional, because you can combo off with Bargain within the same turn you play it. You can't combo off with Necro the same turn you play it, because, like, you get the cards later. See, I know a guy who plays Doomsday, and he has whiteboarded every card in the deck, including Guru Lands. Dude, that hurts. Because I really want some Guru Lands, and I definitely would never put a whiteboarder on those beautiful things. Do you like Goblins in Legacy? I don't like playing against it because it's really good. Well, really good's not the best way to put it. Tough to play against. I figured out the split of him thoughts he's letting out days in the Team America Stoneblade list. Yo, tell me. What's your split, bruh? Your opponent puts an Ocean Thief. That does... I actually cut Show and Tell from my... Oh, yeah, I definitely play Deathrite Shaman. I'm like a Deathrite Shaman .man. But I cut Show and Tell from my Oath deck because of Bargain. Like, I didn't want to be like, Show and Tell Gristlebrand. My opponent's like, Show and Tell Bargain, you're dead! Like... I just don't want that to happen to me. I'm testing out, yeah, 3 Hymn to Turok, 2 Thoughtseizes, 1 Liliana Veil in 3 days. So I also agree with the 3 Hymn to Turok and Team America. I did the same thing. 2 Thoughtseizes, I did the same thing. But the only difference that we had is that I was running 2 days and had 2 Planeswalkers, and you're running 1 Planeswalker in 3 days. But mine was more banking on the Planeswalkers than the creatures in my list. Like, my goal was to, like, win with Liliana and Jace versus, like, I only had, like, 10 creatures in my build. But Team America Blade, baby. You cut Spell Pierce. I think cutting Spell Pierce and Spell Snare is good. Like, Hymn to Turok doesn't play well with those cards. Because you always want double black. But Spell Pierce is awkward when you run, like, let's say, Bayou in your deck. Or you're running, like, Savannah in your deck. Or you're running Scrubland in your deck. None of those things cast Spell Pierce. And God forbid you're running basics in your Blade deck. Then, I mean, those basics aren't casting Spell Pierce if they're not islands either. Let's see. Yeah, I remember correctly. The Guru program was created by wizards to promote Magic the Gathering gurus, which teach... Oh, that's actually what it was for? Dude, hook me up with one of those, because, like... Oh, by the way. So I'm considering doing this. I haven't, like, completely decided yet, because it's just going to take a lot of production time and, like, off-camera time to do. But it's something I was really excited about, like, once I started kind of brainstorming with it. So I'm going to potentially be doing, like, a teach you how to play Legacy live kind of thing. Or, like, at least I would consider doing Vintage Goblins. To interrupt myself and answer that question. I would consider that, actually. That sounds kind of cool. I might even do Blue-Red Goblins to, like, mix it up. But I kind of want to, like, do, like, talks about... that just help people understand the format better. Because I know some people don't play Legacy all the time, and someone wants to get into Legacy, but it's kind of intimidating, like, because, like, you jump into this game where people have been playing for 10 years, they're like, dude, I know everything. There's just a lot you have to know. So, I don't know, getting the chance to discuss Legacy with people, and I can have other people's input. We can have, like, little debates about, you know, because there's a lot of people who play Legacy in the chat as well, experienced people. We could have little arguments over, like, schools of thought people follow. Obviously, there would be a lot of debate over brainstorm, when to brainstorm, what decks you brainstorm in, you know, what are the proper cards. But the first episode would probably be called Cantrips the Movie, where I would discuss the sequencing of your cantrips, like with a Gitaxian Probe, Preordain, Ponder, and Brainstorm, and, like, Thought Scour. And I was going to make and Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I was going to make a list that had all of the cantrips and, like, just show you the optimal way to go through them to look at the maximum number of cards, which is something a new player would need to know. If you're playing, like, a big turbo, you know, I'm just playing a bunch of cantrips, and then eventually at the end of the tutorial, the list would turn into, like, a Pyromancer list that had, like, Gurmag Angler. Just so you have some solid threats to just, you know, you cantrip. It's also good to... what's it called? Goldfish? With that deck, because you put your Pyromancer and you play some cantrips, you're like, look how good this is. Then you can play, like, Jace the Mind Sculptor. But I think it would be fun to do it live versus, like, doing a pre-recorded thing. I would just have to, like, write a little bit of a script for myself, because if you get lost, you don't want to be like, you want to be able to look at something for a second and then go back to the, because most of it will be off the top of my head. Because I don't like just reading scripts. It just sounds crappy. Unless you're, like, really good at it, but, like, I don't practice reading scripts up, so it'll just sound bad. Also, what is this person doing? Like, they've been sitting here for, like, 8 minutes, dude. But there would be a bunch of things. Oh, now they DC'd? But we'd have a bunch of conversations, sort of like, you know, colors to play. I would need assistance from some people, like Gobbo Hunter, for, like, Death and Taxes. I don't know very much. I only know how to play against Death and Taxes, so, like, that would be, like, where I would seek out other people's input, bring them in, and we would, like, you know, talk about the things that I know about how Death and Taxes runs and, like, things to play against it. But we could also have the input of someone who actually plays Death and Taxes. We kind of argue our points, good sideboard cards, bad sideboard cards. We can discuss archetypes, ways to play it, and stuff like that. I think it would be really enjoyable. I mean, maybe they rage quit. I wouldn't mind getting a free win, dude. I'll take it. Well, I mean, even if it's easy to understand, there are things that are complicated within that deck that you wouldn't necessarily... like, using Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp is one of the harder things to do, because you have to gauge what do you hit in what lists. When do you play Flicker Wisp? Do you cast it? When to vial it in? In response to what? What is it good against? Sort of thing, like, flickering in a Flicker Wisp to stop something like Omniscience the same turn someone goes off, or like hitting a Planeswalker during a certain time, or when to activate your Vial. Like, as simple as the concept of playing like a deck with a lot of creatures can be, I think there are definitely complicated aspects of Death and Taxes. Well, don't you have Death and Taxes? I assumed if you have it, you know how to play it. Let's see. I can hit you up with Mark Koenig, though, if you want an episode D&T. Alright, sure. But that would obviously be like one of the later episodes. I'd probably try to cover like black, blue, and red first. Sure, I have everything. Doesn't mean I'm good at it. Well, I'm sure other people want to hear your input as well. You're one of the more active members of the chat. I'm sure someone would like to hear your opinion on it. Even if you're joking around, always good to have a little input. Defense Grid in the main with Bargain. So this is like black-red. I can probably just discard that. I think you play Dak and you dig for a counterspell here. Like, you need Force of Will. That's not Force of Will. I mean, I still can't even play Jace with this Mox, so I am going to discard the Mox. I'm either going to discard Snapcaster or Gush. Although I don't want to discard Gush because I have Dak Faden. Gush, Dak Faden, and some Mox. It just seems like Gush is actually pretty decent here. Maybe Dig because we would rather use Jace. Maybe I'll just get rid of Snapcaster Mage. I feel like it's the worst of the cards. Because, like, if you're going to spend that much mana on something, it's going to be Dig Through Time or Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's my logic. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's why I made my decision. Let's see, I hate Sneak and Show for what it is. Not how good it is. Sneak and Show would also be one of the first lists that I introduced to people. Unlike the Cantrips. Cantrips the movie. Because Sneak and Show, you can make a Sneak and Show variant that's like Cantrips the movie. I often do the Cantrips the movie build. Because I run like 2 Preordain, 2 Cataxian Probe, 4 Brainstorm, and 4 Ponder. Some people might even go more. It's just like, that's my build. And I have 2 Intuition and a Jace the Mind Sculptor. So like, I'm all about cantrips in that build. Because I like drawn cards. We should just ban the whole Legacy format. All at once. Burn the movie would be like 100% an episode. But I don't know if I would call it Burn the movie. Because I might do like... the problem with red is always aggressive. So it's hard to have like... Because even when you're playing something like Stompy, it doesn't win quickly, but it does things very proactively. I have Burn. I would probably buy Burn because it's like $45. Like, Burn's got to be dirt cheap, right? Because I have like the fetch lands. I think I don't have Eidolon or Goblin Guide, but most of the other stuff I do. You should do it. Yeah, like a discussion for like loam decks and stuff like that. But that's something I was thinking is like once a week. Maybe like, I don't know. I don't know the day yet. But I think it would like help diversify my content versus just me playing Magic. We could discuss things. And like, because there's definitely a market for people who want to get more into the Eternal formats. And I would like to get more people into Eternal formats. Because like, I mean, there's 100 people playing Vintage and there's like a couple hundred people playing Legacy online. I would obviously promote Moto the most because it's the most affordable. I would promote Paper as well. It's just, I'm not going to be like, spend $2,000 to go get this Legacy deck. I'd be like, spend this couple $100, build this sweet list, practice on your own kind of stuff. Yeah, but each episode would be called Blank the Movie, essentially, because it's going to be like an hour or 2 or 3, depending on like, I'd have to have like the lecture part where I just kind of talk and then I'm like, these are the nuances, blah, 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 blah. Then in the later portion, I would like take questions and like stuff like that. Because obviously I want you guys to, like, get the answers you want. Like, I don't just be like, there's the lecture, all right, hope you have all your notes, get bodied. Like, if you have legitimate questions afterwards, I very much like to answer those for you. Maybe I should have kept the snap because my opponent's at 7. That's not something I initially thought of. We're so affordable. Oh god, no one died after not eating food for a month or two. Right, dude. Or you can just go work in a restaurant, you know? Add a second job to your job list. That'll help you get there. Just work in New York City as a bartender, man. You'll get it in a couple weeks. Sure, I can help you with Burn the Movie. I play Mono Red for like 6 months straight because... Oh, sure. We should definitely get you in on Burn the Movie then. If you've got that much experience, fuck yeah, dude. That sounds sweet. Also, for like Cantrips the Movie, I want to like interview people to see how many times they've cast like Brainstorm before they offer their opinion. Have you resolved 1,000 brainstorms? More like it's a joke than like, oh, you haven't resolved 1,000, you can't, because like you can resolve 100 brainstorms and have a good understanding of it, and you could resolve 100 brainstorms and have a better understanding of someone who's cast 1,000 brainstorms, because the number of times you cast it doesn't automatically make you better casting it. It just usually does. Because most of the time, experience, lends results. As you would imagine. They are playing blue because they played Ponder and Duress. I'm going to keep Force of Will because I feel like their deck is a deck that's just trying to do a thing. I'm going to discard Gush at this point. Because, like, we don't even have that land yet. Do I have to delve everything? What is it? 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I want to leave anything in the graveyard? Is there Ancestral? I guess there's a Brainstorm, but the Snapcaster's already dead. Or dead, it's in the graveyard. So I'll just delve the whole thing. I mean, maybe we get, like, a land and we play something after, like, Jace the Mind Sculptor, like Blue Mox plus land plus Jace. Or Blue Mox plus land. Or time. That's also really good. We can Time Walk. Now we can actually play Jace the Mind Sculptor, which is a fairly ideal situation to be in. I'll just F6 here. Alright. Snapcaster Mage is actually really good. That's kind of a silly draw. I'm going to do this just because Blightsteel's in my hand. I don't really have another reason. I don't want another Mox, so let's just go boom boom. I think another land is like totally legit. Alright, so let's go Snapcaster Time Walk. Dude, me on Doomsday would be a nightmare for all of you. You would enjoy it for the first couple games, like, oh, he's so bad. Then later you'd be like, nah, he's legitimately so bad. James might win 1 game total in that league. No, that you're not even trolling right now. You're just saying facts. Time Vault? Holy fool. Holy insert curse word here. I wonder if I could just target my opponent with Jace and just gain control of them. That would be the ideal situation. Come on, baby. One time. We've gotten lucky every other game, so... Do I need library right now? I feel like that's just kind of fancy. Yeah, I'll just play Jace here. And then I guess you're supposed to Brainstorm. Because they have Necro, so they're not drawing anyway. You can probably hide dig on top with key, because you won't fetch anyway. Did I play land this turn? Activates Jace, discards Polluted Delta, draws 2 cards with deck, activates deck. Okay, I don't think I played a land this turn. Well, because if I didn't play land, I want to strip mine them. Discards, draws, activates. I don't think we did play a land. So I'm thinking we go like, maybe like dig vault. Or vault dig. Vault dig. And then Gitaxian Probe. They've got Academy, Tendrils, Dark Ritual, Pyroblast. Oh boy. Well, Tolarian Academy seems to fix all their problems, so I don't even think we strip anymore. We wait for them to play Academy next turn, and then strip it on the subsequent turn. Yeah. We don't even show them strip mine, I guess. Because I think it's a higher upside to strip mine something like Tolarian Academy than something like Underground Sea. For reasons you understand. It makes more mana. Simple as that. That's some good tea. I'm drinking some raspberry tea today. Because I feel like if you're really burned out from like traveling, like you're really tired, like the point where like you just need to take a nap, it's not always, you don't want to go super caffeine because then you're going to feel like that, but you're going to be really caffeinated, which feels super weird. Brainstorm. They have like dark rituals and stuff, right? Let's see. Our $300 Academy is like only 150. Is Academy 150? I got Tolarian Academy for like $20 last year. Could you please elaborate on how Academy is better than Underground Sea? I think this should be our first lesson. Well, you see, with Academy in play and 2 copies of Moxjet, it makes 2 mana. Makes 2 blue mana. How do you afford Vintage? It was very inexpensive. I actually got into Vintage almost solely on donations from the audience, actually. It was only like, it was like less than $200 to play Vintage on Magic Online. Like, I'm borrowing Mox Pearl from Gobbo Hunter. A bunch of people like just donated, and then I got like a Black Lotus. Also, like on Magic Online, like Vintage cards are very inexpensive. Like Demonic Tutor is cheap, Vampiric Tutor is cheap. Once you have your base of like Force of Will and stuff, everything else is like, you know, very, very inexpensive. Because not a lot of people play Vintage. Like Tolarian Academy is not expensive. Strip Mine, I don't actually know how much Strip Mine costs. Because within Vintage, Strip Mine's played a lot. So like it could be one of the more expensive cards. I just need the Moxes. I also bought into Vintage when Vintage dipped down in price. Specifically, I waited for the Black Lotus to go to the lowest point it had been since it was printed. And same for all the Mox. The opponent only has Dark Petition, don't they? Strip Mine is dirt cheap? Okay. Don't we have to force this? I feel like we have to force this. The opponent has Ancestral's the thing. But if they can get whatever they want and have a bunch of mana, because they're, I really wish I clipped this. I mean, maybe I did. Let me check again. No, I didn't. Maybe it's like Dark Writ. Did they have Tendrils in their hand? I'm just going to force this. I'm forcing it because of tendrils. Okay. I probably am supposed to brainstorm. Paradoxical outcome, is that good? Force of will is really good. Maybe I just go like island key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strip mine. The Tolarian Academy. Attack. I guess we just take a Mox this turn. Black Mox. It just casts Force of Will, and I think we win. Yeah, that's game. Okay. I'll be right back. I have to pee really badly. Because, like, if you don't draw with Necro, I don't see them being able to get out of that lock. Alright. Alright. White box. Never good enough. Goddamn hood bias. Alright, so what would I do against Storm? Arcane Lab. Pyroblast, and I don't know if you get much fancier than that. Like, you could do a Braid. Maybe Shatter Spree's better than a Braid if we're going to leave a Braid in. I like cutting one deck, because you just don't need 3. Mana Drain on the draw is not great, so I imagine cutting Mana Drain's fine. Although, you can counter Bargain with this, which is why I want to leave it in a little bit. I think Paradoxical Outcome doesn't belong in my deck, so I'm just going to cut it. Like, as you saw last game, it was better just to keep up Forest than to cast... Oh, well, I'm sure someone would disagree with that, but whatever. Spree's better than Braid? Oh, yeah, I totally agree. If we're going to leave in that kind of destruction effect, Spree makes more sense, because it just is an upgrade. It's more mana efficient. I also don't mind leaving in something like that. I think that's actually just fine. 3 Pyroblast actually is too many because the opponent isn't running a billion blue cards. They're running some. So I don't know if you need 3 copies of Pyroblast. I think you do want 4 Force, although they're running discard, but their deck seems heavily black-based. Oh, God. I have a really bad knot on my back. It totally sucks. What do you guys think about Mana Drain? Well, it doesn't help against Necropotence, but they are running Yawgmoth's Bargain, though. They, like, definitely showed it to us that game. Oh, gonna miss on sideboard? Whoops! You're totally right about that, man. I was getting too contemplative there. I was like, oh, well, we could, I need to, if we could, Oh, boy. I still have my Prince of my binder used to love, not playing it because the combo pieces were fucking expensive and hard to get. I'll keep this hand. Hold on. I'm right there with you, man. Oh, that's Oath of Druids. Where's Necropotence? I think it's next to it. Boom. Haven't played it since Commander. Land go. Okay. Alright. Okay. I'll just be perfect. I'll just draw the perfect draw off the top. No big deal. Don't mind me. Or I'll just... Nah, Gabo, don't worry about it. I'll just always draw the best card off the top on the turn we need it. Library on the draw like that is so good. We don't have force. We've got the misstep. We need to gas up, but like we have gas up magic card. Duress. Is this where my opponent goes Flusterstorm? Dude, I should take a shower after this game. I am feeling dirty. Oh, is this just Pyro? Sure. Whatever. Now we will go down to 6 cards here. Which is why I didn't play something after. Because I plan on just like misstepping something. I'll probably just strip mine the opponent then. I would just take Time Vault. Time Vault or Sensei's Dividing Top. These are the 2 best cards. Or maybe I won't play anything. We'll see what I draw for the turn. If I draw something that's like interactive, it might change my mind. Like if I draw Ancestral Recall, obviously my mind is going to change. Or like Brainstorm or something. Force of Will. I might go off Library because it's a disruptive piece. Like what I could do is I could go Mox. Like if I play land for the turn, I can then play Sol Ring off the Academy, and then we can have Hardcast Force. Or we could wait a turn. Maybe we can strip and play Force. Hold on. Let me count. So if we play Sol Ring, we'll have 3 mana, play a land, play a Mox. That's 5. Stripping them off red actually is probably just the right play, honestly. And then maybe we just don't play anything and try and go up to Academy. That's my play. I'm going to try to go... Because, like, if he's down to 4 cards, right? And he only has 1 mana, what I'm thinking is that we can get back up to drawing a card each turn. Instead of just throwing our cards out there like that. Especially in top deck mode, we want to be, you know, just drawing an extra card each turn. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's probably extremely greedy to do something like this, but... if we can just crush them with card advantage, we would probably just win that game. Dark Ritual. I'm just going to counter that. I would take Time Vault because it literally like shuts off the first avenue for victory. Like I can see them taking top, but see, do you still have your balls when it's really cold outside? It depends how cold it is. All right, to answer your question. That's such a silly question, dude. You are such a silly human being, man. I'm gonna wait one more turn still. Because, like I said, if we can just draw one card here, that would be nice. I think this is the topic we should all address here, right? The topic that's on everybody's mind. We could just die. It's just with a hand like this, I don't have a lot of things to do, so I kind of want to draw more cards so we can get out of it. Like, we could just hold our advantage in a way. But obviously this could backfire. Like, what I'm doing is extremely greedy. Especially given that the opponent literally just resolved Necropotence. By the way, friend of mine went top 8 in Liverpool. Fuck yeah, man. What about his list? He lost to the win. Aw. That actually kind of sucks. To lose like right at the end like that is got to be heartbreaking. I know I would be crushed. Oh, it was limited. That's actually very impressive. I'm always in because like I'm not a big limited player, so whenever people do well, I'm like, damn. What is that guy, an Olympian or something? Ixalan Limited looks really fun though. So now we get to see what the opponent's going to exile. He actually had a good draft, but the opponent just outdrew him. What was the opponent on, if you know? Was anybody playing Red Dinosaurs? Dude, that knot is killing me right now. I was thinking about getting one of those back massages from Target where you can, like, dig in. Because it's mostly my rhomboids that get sore from, like, sitting, like, you know, you get your shoulders hunched over. And, like, it gets taxed. Your chest muscles get taxed. That puts pressure on your back muscles. Online draft is full. I wouldn't draft online because I know people cheat on drafts online. Where, like, people all get in the pools together. Or at least, I mean, maybe people don't do it anymore, but that was a thing a while ago, like this year, where like everyone would get in the draft together and they would just make like the super, like efficient decks. They would go on really late at night, like a bunch of college students just roll on, you know, a group of 8 or whatever, and dominate a draft. Can't even remember, but I got his list by what's up right after the draft. Was it sweet? Also, I think I've played against this person before because their name is kind of ringing a bell a little bit. I mean, maybe it's just because they're called Tarzan. Dude, I can't reach the spot. It's killing me. It's like right out of reach. You ever have that where you're like right up from itching your back? Like I can almost get it, but my trigger point is too far away. I think this guy is going to get timed out just because he's taking forever. Did you watch Gunsleeved with that strange guy who hates everything and also is against everything anyone? You talking about Jeremy? I like how I read that as MTG gun sleeves instead of MTG unsleeved. But yeah, everybody, Jeremy, is people call him the Edgelord. I think people don't like him because he just says stuff. Like, he doesn't always have the most, like, sound reasoning behind something. Like, he hears of something and then he just, like, reports on it. Which is literally the best way, or literally the worst way, excuse me, that you can do the news. Is to be, like, super non-informed of what you're talking about. Are they dead? Land, DT, Soul Ring. Are we 1 mana off? From killing the opponent? Let me think for a minute. You go Sol Ring, play a land. You have one floating. Aren't we one short exactly? Like we're just one off? If that's the case, yeah, we are one off. I think we're supposed to put everything into play then, so that they have the lowest probability of being able to interact with me. So like play Emerald. Play Sol Ring. Although they could just take DT. But I guess we do play that out. And then we'll... yeah. Can't you, like, Demonic for Time Walk? Try and... oh, maybe you're right about that. I didn't consider that, truth be told. That's just my bad. Deck needs more Trinket Mages. Dude, I wouldn't mind more Trinket Mages. I didn't even consider Trinket Mage for this deck, actually. Because Trinket Mage isn't even something I really ran in Vintage. He must have the win. Probably. With a Stormcast of 7 here. Oh yeah, with the Yogg's Wilshire. We'll just F6. Or maybe I won't. F6. Alright, we'll click it. Sure. Oh, you know what? At the end of this episode, remind me to play a song, or the song that's stuck in my head over the course of the past couple days, and I'll play it. Because the song is wild. You should read my opinion on why I think the Jeremy guy, and then agree with you. Let me see. I mean, he's against people standing up against social discrimination, calling them social justice, well, then he acts like he's the hero. Dude, he really likes to play the hero in his stories very frequently. Feels rather sexist. When I stopped watching him, I noticed that I'm not even really PC. I'm very, very rude, sometimes even sexist, and he just puts it on too thick for me. My problem is I just don't like when people try to, like, what's the word? Expose people, but they don't have all the facts. They're just like, I read this on Facebook. Let me make a 30-minute video where I tell everybody that these are objective truths and that you should just believe everything I'm saying. It's just like what's wrong with a lot of news stations. Or news in general in the modern era of, I saw, because it's all about being first. Because like a social media time period, obviously, you know, you're going to read something one time and then everyone else, right out, I already saw that. Is this everything I need? Dag, and then buy Force Ravenous, Trap a Braid, Spree, Crypt, Mountain, a Braid. I don't think you need 3 blasts. I don't think they have enough blue cards. It's all just feels like click. Exactly. Clickbait is a very good way to put it. He's like bad dude, I had to like exile BuzzFeed from like every kind of feed that I have in my life. The rhetoric of everything you ever need ever is the beginning of every BuzzFeed article. This is all you ever need ever. This is what everybody thinks all the time ever. It's just like, let's just put all the hyperboles in there to really convince people of our article. Retutor's okay, I guess. You know, with things like Pyroblast, I don't know how many Force of Wills you want. But they do need mana to do that. Oh, yeah, 4 million artifact. I'm just going to shuffle this up. I have 4 million artifact removal because Shops is like super popular. Or it's just really good at least. Yeah. I think you can turn one Ancestral. Actually, I'm just going to turn one Ancestral on my opponent's turn, I guess. We'll get an Underground Sea, I guess. Alright, Ancestral myself here. Okay, we're good. We in business. Mox was actually a really good draw, too. Okay, well. Seems good, man. I think I'm going to brainstorm with Jace because they have so many copies of Pyroblast in their deck. My heart like started going really fast. I get so excited for this Jace. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to interact with us here. So my opponent's like a Pyroblast. I think I'm going to try to gas up more. Although Flusterstorm's really good against Storm. That's a tough choice. I don't know. That might have not been the best one. I'm definitely going to draw 3 here, though. Well, that was just a very good draw, Black Lotus. So now we can keep open Flusterstorm. Ancestral. No. Same target. All right. Is that just it? Well, we definitely brainstorm, I think. Because of Pyroblast. Boom. Boom. Let's not get this Pyroed, I guess. Because if we're going to try to Force of Will something, like having Pyroblast is obviously not the thing you want. Or rather, Force of Will's not the thing you want, I mean to say. So search your library for an artifact with converted mana cost X or less. Just get Time Vault here. And then we'll pass the turn. So that should be game next turn. We'll do it for 1. That's game. Sure. I'm going to click through just in case they have something. Alright, so we'll just use the Mox this time to tap, untap, take an extra turn, Fate Seal the opponent, say no. I'm not even going to touch the dude. We'll just jace him out. No problem. We got plenty of time. Let's see. Tap Time Vault. Take an extra turn after this one. Whatever. Should maybe we do this. Because I guess this does, let you take more turns. I just realized that right now. It's actually kind of sick. So we can just look at the top card. Whatever. Untap, tap. Tap. Untap. Boom, boom. Tap. 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 Untap. Tap. Pass turn. It's pretty nuts. Pretty good here. Well, whatever. Do we even need extra turns at this point? Let's just take one more, I guess, because why not? Because we can. Tap. Take an extra turn. Untap. We'll just untap them. We won't even take the extra turn this time because we have a bunch on layaway. Alright, we'll just exile all your cards. Your hand becomes your deck. We could like play Dak Faden, and we'll just target player draws 2. We will take an extra turn. F6. Whatever. Draw 2. Take an extra turn. Pass the turn. F6. Target player draws 2 cards. Yeah, we gotta DAC him out because I don't think we ever want to give him like a turn because magic. Play this. Use this. Untap this. I like I'm just like for no reason. Oh, do we actually fuck that up? That's fine. If we fucked it up, it's all right. We've got Tezzeret here to fix our problems. All right. We beat an opponent with no cards in hand, no cards left in their deck. Yeah! This feels good, dude. And we went positive in today's league. That was a perfect victory, wasn't it? That one felt pretty good. All right, so this vintage deck turns out pretty sweet. Now, that was a stylish